everyone, and welcome to the next edition of the Holland Land Office Museum's Artifact video series. My name is Ryan Duffy, I'm the director of the museum, and this week we're going to talk about one of the most prominent artists we have here from Genesee County, and a member of the famous Mason family, which was really the hub of artistic activity here in the county for many years. So this week we're going to talk about Nina Mason Booth, who was the daughter of Frank Mason, who we talked about in a previous video, who owned Mason Seal Company. She was an accomplished artist in her own right, with many of her paintings going around the United States in large museums and small museums. And we have several pieces of hers here in our collection of local artists, so I will show those off as we talk about the life of Nina Mason Booth. Nina Mason was born in 1884, the oldest of the three children of Frank and Sarah Mason. She followed in her father's artistic footsteps beginning at a very young age, and by her late teens was producing her own paintings. She would go on to become an accomplished artist herself, but it was in the promotion of the local arts and artists that Nina truly shined. In 1921, she married Herbert Tomlinson Booth, who was a well-known banker in Batavia. However, her husband died rather young on June 14th, 1944. But Nina would continue to paint even after her husband's death, and she specialized in oils and mostly floral arrangements, and you see some examples of that in our collection here. And she still was an avid piano player at the same time. She was a member of the Batavia Society of Artists, the Pan Arts Club of Buffalo, the Genesee Group of Rochester, the Catherine Lorillard Wolf Art Club of New York City, and the Academic Artists Association. But she brought that love of the arts to Batavia and Genesee County when in 1950 she co-founded the Batavia Society of Artists, which she started with her star pupil Rose Pontillo de Carlo. And this was meant to promote enthusiasm for art in the community and to encourage young artists. And she would even say in some interviews, "Today every one of us is turning out more artistic and more original work than we were capable of before, and our work keeps us young. Through it, our hands retain their skill and our minds are occupied by an interest so engrossing that we lose count not only of hours, but of years." The group was actually first held in her home at 45 Ellicott Avenue and started out with about 35 members. However, within a few years it had grown to over 100, and this group still operates here in Batavia and puts on regular shows and draws artists from across Western New York. Now, Nina would paint basically the entirety of her life and would paint into her elder years when she would pass away at her home on January 22nd, 1958 due to her diabetic condition. But her lasting impact on the local arts is still felt today. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of our Artifact video series and learned a little bit more about one of our famous artists here from Genesee County, Nina Mason Booth, and her impact on the local artistic community. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up or even subscribe to the channel, as it helps us out a little bit and gets you notified even quicker when we do release new videos. But be sure to go check out the rest of our library at our YouTube channel, Holland Land Office Museum, as we're got hundreds of videos up there now that we've been working on, so there's plenty of material to go through. But as always, the best way to learn more about any of the subjects in our videos is to stop by the museum and see for yourself, as we'll be able to show you the artifacts up close and personal, but even tell you even more information than just what's included in these videos.